out there who are taking the Zoom tasting tonight. I hope you've already poured yourself a Dog Point 2019 Sauvignon Blanc, and you're already having a little taste of it. It's that time of night when you should be. I think one of the things that I would say in my observations about good organic wines is that there always seems to be a little something for me in them, and I think it's kind of like maybe it's perceived even, but there always seems to be a little bit of purity, a little bit of something in them that really is a little bit different, you know. I mean, and when we're looking at your 2019 tonight, you know, a wonderful aromatic expression, and it's got a lot of purity to it. One of the things that I've always associated with Dog Point Sauvignon Blanc is you can almost smell the richness in the wine. So this is not just a Sauvignon Blanc. It's got a lot more complexity to it aromatically, seems to have a lot more layers on the palate, and there's a kind of lovely rich core and thread to it, but with this lovely, beautiful acidic balance and texture. And you know, it's always had that standout sort of quality to it, that standout sort of kind of richness to it. And 19, of course, is I believe, a pretty good vintage for you guys down there too.
Well, it was, Jeff. Actually, the last two vintages, 19 was, what can I say, was very good. 20 was fantastic. And as we all know, under challenging times. But, you know, it's interesting. We've always, when James and I, when we set out to establish Dog Point Winery, the vineyard was always there, the Dog Point Winery, and the wines we wanted to work with, we were very keen on trying to have a point of difference. Not the same old, same old. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. There's very good wines out there, and it's good. You know, there's a lot of other wines that have a point of difference. And the point of difference for us, a key component, was working with old wines, but also natural yeast. And James and I, along with Kevin Judd, worked together very closely in the formation of and creation of, if you like, of Tikoko at Cloudy Bay. Yeah. And working with Sauvignon with natural ferment. So coming back to Dog Point Sauvignon, we have 20 to 25, depending on the vintage, % of is natural ferment in tank. And you've got to be very careful when you're working with natural ferments, as you would know, and many of your consumers would know. And introduced yeast is the other part, and we've sort of refined that down now. We only work with 3 sort of yeast now, and coming back, you know, and leaving the juice on lees for a little bit longer, and with what I call the generic style Sauvignon, as against our Section 94, there's no barrel influence in there. It's a yeast influence. And I strongly believe that mature vines have a part to play in that purity and that length that's in there. As I said, we're into that citrus sort of grapefruit. And 19 was a very, very good vintage weather-wise. You know, we had a beautiful spring, free of frost, so it didn't cost us too much. And then, as everyone would know, you know, that December, January, February was warm, very warm and dry. And, you know, the East Coast was, farming areas were hit quite badly and with that dryness. And then we got a nice few showers in March. Normally we'd be worried around then, but particularly for Sauvignon. And it just sort of put some vitality, if you like, into the vines. And a leisurely harvest. And one of the earlier harvests for us, we finished around the 4th of April, when normally we're around the 15th to the 20th. So it was quite an early finish. And, you know, the fruit was well balanced, you know, nice sort of relationship between Brix, acidity, and pH. And it was a very, very pleasing finish. So it was characteristic for us as that sort of lifted sort of grapefruit, citrus sort of character, a little bit of sort of Maya lemon there, if you like, almost moving to a little bit of mango. I sort of when I sort of with this now and taste a little bit of pear or apple sort of character, but again we sort of like that sort of crisp, refreshing acidity, you know, with that lemon lime sort of infused finish. And I will say the other point of difference, Jeff, that we set out in the early days to sort of overcome the myth, if you like, of Sauvignon needs to be, you almost need to drink it before you get home.
Yes.
It was out there. And we wanted to make wines that would age respectfully. And I'm very happy, you know, quite a few years ago, we did a decade of Dog Point, and that really sealed it for us. And obviously we did a big one here in New Zealand, and we opened 10 wines in different sort of cities of the world, if you like. We had the current vintage of Sauvignon, so we're opening 41 wines, and we were very pleased how they'd aged.